why do you think blandame blandame blandame? Let me copyright that right
Right.
there. Let me get that blandame.
You heard it here first.
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing this evening? I'm Lamar, and that's my brother Casey Fowler, and this is the Fowl Language Podcast.
Yes, sir. The Fowl Language Podcast, where we like to talk any and everything anime. And just like every other night, we got a good one for you guys, man. So buckle up. We're about to go ahead and do that. Yeah.
Yep, let's go. So tonight, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about some anime, like we always do, but this one's coming from a different vantage point. And a couple things happened. I think BlurredCon was just this past
Hmm.
weekend, and a couple other things I've noticed, and we'll talk about that piece as we get into that half of the conversation. But let's talk about being black as an anime fan. And so the first thing I guess we'll touch on is why do you think blandame blandame blandame? Let me copyright that right there.
Right.
Bland, let me get that blandame. Uh,
You heard it here first.
blandame people, blandame. But why do you think? I was about to say it again. Why do you think anime hits so hard and so many black folks connect with it?
Oh man, that's a real good question, man. The only thing that really stands out and really sticks out to me as far as that goes, man, is in my opinion is the underdog stories, man. A lot of times our people in this society we're considered the underdog, whether we feel like we're the underdog or not in different kind of avenues. We are that underdog. So, so we are the Naruto, we are the Midoriya, we are the whoever else you could think of that's the oh they ain't gonna be worth nothing, they ain't this, they ain't that. They get judged based on how they look versus when they really get down. So I think for me, I really resonate with that as a whole. Being a shorter, highly melanated man myself, there's been so many times where it's, oh, Kevin can't do this, he can't do that. Oh, you're too short for this, or you're not what we're looking for. Blah 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 blah. And then I go in there and freaking crush it, man. So that right there really sticks out. And then we could just we relate to the struggles, man. I mean, I said his name several times on here, but we're gonna take Naruto again because that's one of my favorite anime anyway. But Naruto was always that guy that they looked down on. You know what I'm saying? He was always discriminated against, and he didn't really understand why. It's not like he necessarily did nothing wrong. It ain't his fault that they put the nine tails in him. It ain't his fault that the nine tails tore up the Leaf Village, but that's what happened, and he was discriminated for that. And I think a lot of that discrimination you see and anime, us as highly melanated people can definitely relate to that. And it kind of pulls us in and it gives us that, rooting for that guy and seeing when he gets to where he is, like, yeah, that's right, that's right, that's right. And you see the struggles these characters go through, and a lot of their struggles, like I said, we can relate to. Whether it's personally or somebody we know, we see those struggles and we see them overcome said struggles. And our people as a whole, man, we're some resilient people, and that resiliency and anime, I feel like really carries over. And then other than that, man, just the fight was freaking amazing, man. I mean, who doesn't like a good old skerfluffle, if you will, man? Just throwing those hands, like really getting down with the fight. You just then you trying to do it yourself, and then the dancing and the women of it for some of those weird guys who was just really um infatuated with the anime women out there, because I'm sure it's some of you guys out there. No shade, guys. You like what you like, but it's just those several things that we as a people like, and then the music, man. We're music people. The dances and the theme songs. We did the episode with the outros and the intros and the openings and closings and all that good stuff, man. And some of that stuff be hitting to the point where you like, yeah, yeah. And then just
Yeah.
the artistry of it, the creative passion behind it. I think all that resonates with us as black people, and that really puts us into the anime realm. And now we have our own little, not really, yeah, well, our own little our click with anime. We got all the haters on social media. Shout out to the highly melanated cosplayers out there, real quick, who's doing it real big. Don't care what nobody say, whether this person looks like this, looks like that. We make everything awesome. I don't care what nobody says, man. We make everything awesome. And the last thing I'm gonna say before I pass it to you, bro, is our culture, primarily the black Americans. You know what I'm saying? Our culture is in anime a lot of the times, whether it's how they're dancing, how they're walking. I mean, just look at the way some of the characters talk in Gare de Kuchi Kuda Kuda. I'm gonna learn how to say it right, I promise. I've been trying to say it right all week because I knew I was going to end up mentioning it tonight, man, and I could not. Gotcha Kuda. There we go. There we go. Gotcha Kuda. And I think I'm still saying it wrong, but that's okay. Close enough. But look how they act and talk and move and the music and the backgrounds and all the other stuff. And that's rooted from us. That's where it comes from. So we relate to it. And being that we relate to it, we embrace it more. And it's one of those things where you don't have to be hiding somewhere because you're a nerd or something and the thugs will pick on you because thugs watch anime now too. So anime is just that thing that's really bringing our people together and showing the different creative aspects of us. You know what I'm saying? Because we're some really creative people, whether it's the music or the artistry or throwing them hands, of course, because we can scrap. You know what I'm saying? We can really throw them hands. But it's all those things to me at once, man. And me personally, just watching the blurred cons and stuff when they do the big picture while all the cosplayers on like the steps and stuff, man. That's just dope to me, man. I love it, man. Everybody's out there just having a good time and enjoying themselves, and all that right there combines into why I think, what I'm saying, black people connect so well when it comes to anime. What you think, bro?
Well, there's nothing to say here. We can move on to the next topic because everything's covered. So I guess I'm gonna basically put my spin on what you said. So I think a couple things. One, issues like you said, the underdog story is there, and there's things that we can relate to and we see. I think it handles topics that we address that in Western media, I feel like it tries to ham fisted in there. Like, I refuse to watch another slave movie.
Right.
I just don't have it in me. But I still think that racism and stuff like that needs to be addressed and explained so people understand what it is, what the ramifications are, and how it works. And I think what anime does a great job of doing is showing it to you without beating you across the head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think fiction needs to beat you across the head with the message to get the message across. And my favorite example, two examples that I have are the anime 86, and they're also two of my favorite anime, by the way. So 86 deals with it by saying that it's a culture where there's two different groups of society. There's the 86s, and they're basically the remnants of the Japanese society, and then the other folks, I forgot what they're called, and they live in the higher society, whatever. Everything is nice and clean and all that good stuff too. And what happens is when you hear the news, there's this war with these mechanical beasts or these mecha androids. You find out what they are later. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched it. If you haven't watched it, it's a great anime, so check it out. But they find out they've been fighting these things off and on, and then all the news and the propaganda talks about how it's been so much time and there hasn't been a casualty and all that stuff. No human life has been lost or whatever the case may be. And when you go to the other side where the 86s are, they're fighting and dying by the truckloads. But because they don't consider the 86 as human, they're not saying that humans have died. So it's that subtlety of that, and it's like, oh, wow, that's great. And then the other one doesn't require as much as a backstory, and that's in Code Geass, where the Japanese were in District 11, and they would call them 11s. And every time I would hear, you 11s, I would hear something else in my head. We won't fill that in, and y'all don't fill it in the comments either because we don't need it. But that's what I would hear when I say that. So you can get that same kind of story, get that point across without having to make it torture porn or whatever like that. I don't know if I'm even supposed to say that word on here.
Well, it's out there now.
It is what it is. But so I think that's one of the things. And then I think the cross-cultural influence is big between the two, where you have, like, on this side, like, think of some of the lines with Megan Thee Stallion or Dear Silas, or there's so many other rappers, so many, Akeem Ali, Jid, and a couple other ones I've been listening to lately, where it's like, oh, that's a Goku reference. That's a, Attack on Titan reference. That's a, this reference. I'm like, I see what you did. Somebody said, Gojo, wait a minute. So you appreciate that on that side, but then on the other side, I mean, you can a lot of times there's like homage to culture without cultural appropriation, and so I do appreciate that too. Sometimes that line is crossed, but then other times it's homage, like Samurai Champloo, where the fighting style is breakdancing. You got hip hop in the opening. It's just got scratching. They got folks walking down the street freestyling. In Devilman Crybaby, there's a group that they just walk around the town and they just rapping. So you get that kind of influence. You're watching Gachiakura, which I think is about the right way to say it. So I used to say Gachiakura too, but I was listening to something on the internet where they were talking about what is the right way to say it. And the mangaka, she said Gachiakura. So I'm going to say Gachiakura as best as I can. So that's what I'm going to go with. Something in there is silent. I forgot. I'm a math guy, not an English guy. So it is what it is. So there's that. So I think you deal with those themes. You deal with those issues. You address the struggle. You address overcoming struggle and what you can be and how you can start from like humble beginnings and be the best. And not like in a pull yourself up on your bootstraps kind of crap, but just more of a be successful and overcoming and what the positive aspects of the world can be and stuff like that. So I think in some respects it's a nice diversion to see somebody get their head bust in and or whatever. It's cool to watch Luffy punch somebody in the face.
Every time.
It's good to watch stuff like that. So ain't nothing wrong with that. So I think those aspects are to me what make anime kind of cross culturally, get with it for black people. I think that's why we love it so much. And then you got Blurred Con, which has anime influences but isn't just anime. So you got that too. There's another piece, and so we've kind of covered the positive aspect, I guess you can say, of being black and an anime fan. There's another piece that's been talked about a lot of times. It's celebrated on the positive side with anime like Gachiakura, but something I know, and what made me think about it is there's some stuff on the internet where they've said it's so many days where DC has not had a black character featured as their main character. And so I wanted to talk about, how do you feel about representation of anime? Do you feel like because we're such a vocal group of enjoying anime and being fans of anime, do you feel like we need to be represented in anime?
Now, I look at that two ways, and just like you're a math guy, not an English guy, I'm a history guy, not not a math or English guy. But as far as that goes, I mean, you got to think about a lot of these areas they do the anime at. Like it's in Kyoto, it's in Edo, it's in places like that, and a lot of times our people weren't there for real. You know what I'm saying? So some of that I don't have a problem with. But on the other side, yeah, we should have representation in anything that has our sauce on it. If it has our doggone sauce on it, we should definitely be in there some form, fashion, way, how possible, and it needs to happen. I mean, you just look at we talking about it most of the time. Got your kuda da whatever you want to dang on say, man. But
Mm-hmm.
you look at my man Jabba right there. He turned up. He got dreads. He's doing his thing, and then you got your boy Engine, who's he's like that guy. He's like that token, if you will. That's that's been in the hood for a little bit, so he got a little pass and everything like that. So I think we definitely should have representation, but it just depends on the era of the anime, where the anime is being depicted at, and things like that. I mean, if it's like in outer space or something, yeah, put some space brothers out there, some space sisters out there. And then, like I said, if it's
Mm-hmm.
Kyoto, like feudal Japan era, we wasn't out there. We wasn't really out there like that by choice. Let me rephrase. We weren't out there by choice. We weren't around kicking and fighting and stuff. So that's fine by me. And stuff like the Soul Society and things like that. Yeah, it really just depends on the story of the anime, and what I'm saying, the world of that anime, where you want to where we can have that kind of representation. And they ain't even have to be the typical dark skin. I talk hip hop, you know what I mean, or I rap all the time like
Mm-hmm.
Killer B, but there still should be some in there. It's like you seasoning up the chicken, right? So you seasoning up the chicken and everything like that. Shout out to Dad, rest in power. So you seasoning up the chicken, and you do all that work to it, you
Mm.
marinate it, you let it sit overnight, and somebody else cook it, and they say it's their chicken. You don't get a person who seasons the chicken enough credit, and that's where I think it should be. As far as representation goes, man. So what do you think, bro? You think we should have that representation in there?
So you brought some interesting points, man. I like that. So I'm gonna start with the seasoned chicken
That
reference.
chicken.
So I mean that ultimately boils down to cite your sources. So if you, and this is for my literary folks out there, I'm not an English guy, but cite your sources like a research paper. If you get an influence from somewhere, reference it. Let us know. Like if somebody's freestyling or somebody picks up something and it's like 19 prohibit, the Harlem Renaissance or something like that, and you make it look like that, tell that's where you came from. Let it know that's what
Yeah.
influenced you,
Right.
the dress, or whatever, the different cultures, the cuisine, whatever it was that you got that influence from. Share that. In that case, I think it's okay. It's weird because I go one and two ways. Like when I see representation in anime, I like to see it. It's cool. Like Gachiakura is a fantastic example of representation in anime, and the dub is one of those situations where it makes it even more
Yeah.
so. I did go back and listen to the sub on certain parts, and it's not as culturally relevant, if you will,
Mhm.
but it's still good. It's just different. Like I don't think it hits with an American audience as much, especially a Black American audience as much as the dub does. The other thing that I was going to mention that I've been kind of going back and forth is I kind of get tired of like getting folks and trying, even like in the DC argument of saying, oh, DC didn't feature a Black character, yada yada yada. Like I understand that. I understand the desire for having them there. I understand the desire for having them in anime. But we have so many talented writers, artists, animators. They just need the paper to do the thing. And if we talk about like spending power and things like that, why don't we find those? There's GoFundMe's. There's different crowd backing campaigns. Let's find some, have like a competition, submit your work. We paper up the best ones and fund their
That's
stuff.
a good idea.
We can do that. I mean, I've been really thinking about that lately. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how that happens, but I would rather go that route instead of just continuously saying such and such doesn't have a Black character. I mean, I don't. I It's weird because I don't need it, but it's cool to see. And the point you made about the time period when the anime is, not only the setting of the anime, but the time period of when the anime was created is a very interesting point because, like you said, I mean, I don't need to tell you talking about, what's the good one? Sengoku Basara, where it's the Warren States era, or something like that. Or I mean, like Baki has Black characters. It has a Muhammad Ali, and
Mhm.
I mean, Biscuit Oliver is based on somebody. I mean, whatever on that.
He was
I
more. I
mean,
thought he
and
was
that
more
they
like a Hispanic brother, like Cuban or something.
no, it's a. I saw it somewhere. It's a dude who he's exactly supposed to be. It's not Ron Coleman, but it's a bodybuilder that he's supposed to be modeled
Oh,
after.
okay.
I can't remember who though. Now the dude in Jujutsu Kaisen in the first season that gets mollywopped by Gojo. I thought he was Black at first, but his name was Miguel, and I think he's Mexican or something. Um, but yeah, so I mean, and then there's that. I mean, and some people argue like Yoruichi isn't Black or whatever, and they go through that. But you have Kaname. Even if you don't, you have Kaname Tosin who turns to a villain or whatever. You have the other dude in Squad Zero. You have different people in there. So I mean, they're there and they're done well, and they're not all caricatures or whatever. And so I appreciate that when I see it. So I guess what I'm saying is I appreciate it when I see it. Don't have to have it, but it's a nice plus. But for those that want to see it, let's do something about it instead of just saying think pieces on, oh, this is not there and we don't see it and we don't want to see it. And I'm doing a running counter of it's been 187 days since I've seen a Black person in a DC comic. Let's find some comics out there. I mean, Marcus Visual. I've got his not Black Sands. Black Sands is another one though. Marcus Visual. I've got his Tuskegee Airs. So that's a homage to Tuskegee Airmen. So that's pretty cool. And I've got the first one, and I need to get the other, I think 4 or 5 volumes out there. So let's do stuff like that, and let's get that going. I mean, it's easier now to get that stuff going than ever before. I mean, we can get it on Webtoons. We can get it anywhere. We can host a platform ourselves. We can, generate some anime and just give them the money and the time. Of course, not trying to get them on the low. You definitely compensate them for their efforts.
Yeah.
And let's get this rolling, man. Got to.
Yeah, it'll be real.
Because it's out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's out there. The talent's out there. We just got to figure out a way to get it out there and get it to the masses who want it. And you got to support it when it come out, and not just be saying, "Oh, I want to see it," but then when it come out, you don't buy it or wait for it to go on sale or whatever. You got to buy it, buy a couple copies, share it, review it, make it go viral, stuff like that. You got to do that in order for it to really sell.
Yeah, and stop knocking the ones that's doing it. You know what I'm saying? Don't knock the ones that's really out there getting it, like being overly critique their stuff, man. Support your people. I mean, if it's bad, got it. But
yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too. Critique it fairly,
right?
Yeah, I mean, don't hold it just because it's whatever. I'm not gonna really hold it. If it's trash, it's trash. Call it as trash. I mean, we got to. We can't just give it a pass just because for the culture. We can't do that.
Most definitely.
So yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else, but being black and an anime fan is very unique. It's very fun. It's very enriching, I think. So yeah, it's just a unique experience. What do you think? I mean, there's bad too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, especially on the internet. But I got to think enough skin to deal with that. So.
I mean, it's definitely awesome, man. And just a little side note, just the spiritual path I'm on with energy and understanding yourself and things like that. Like a lot of that applies in anime to me, man. A lot of meditation methods and things they use. You actually see those in African spirituality. Rituals and things like that. A lot of that stuff is in there too, so I think that's really cool about it. But like you was mentioning about the doing our own, man, I'm all the way with that, man. I'm a firm believer of they ain't gonna put nothing out, forget it. I do it myself. So yeah, man. But I ain't got all the money in the world, but I got about $20-$40 to put on it, man. I'm just saying, like let's definitely come together and do that, man, because that could be a whole new big world of anime stuff. And you said her name earlier. Shout out to Meg Thee Stallion for doing her thing, man. I don't know if I'd watch it because Meg Thee Stallion's doing it and I want to see it, but I don't know yet. I don't know. I've seen a couple little. I don't know.
I'm gonna watch it just to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'm definitely gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna give it a shot.
I mean, again, same kind of thing. Kind of like I'm gonna give it the same effort as Sentence to Be a Hero.
Yeah.
If I watch it and like it, I'll continue. If I don't, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that's really what I think too, man. We should really just come together and instead of saying, "Oh, we don't have representation in here, we don't have representation there," we don't need it. We don't need it. We can do it ourselves, man. We have way too much talent, way too much creativity. Like you said, it's just that financial hurdle that, you know what I'm saying, they try to gatekeep, for lack of a better term, that we got to get under. And, us as a people, I ain't spending my money on that. I ain't even do it. No, man, we got to support our people, man. And this is a avenue that our likenesses are used, our culture is used, and things like that. So if they're going to use stuff that's ours, that just shows how dope we are, man. So we need to go ahead and use it ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get off my Melanin Warriors soapbox now.
Which the closest we're gonna get to another one.
It's coming, man. I promise it's coming.
All right. So, all right, everybody. Let us know what you guys think. Again, since this is Talking Being Black, usually the algorithm brings those special kind of people in the comments. Just know, we with it. That's all you gotta know.
All the time.
Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
And we out.